Hi, I'm Eric from STEMstorm. So this is just going to be part of the STEMstorm design process that you can see here. And the first thing that's really important is to get kids to understand the context of why this is important, why we need a certain technology more than we need another technology. So we're not just making toys, we're actually showing them, we're actually teaching them why these things are important and teaching them the basics of how these things work. So this can be seen as a simple toy, but it's also really showing them how, say, a lifeguard vehicle might work, or a Coast Guard vehicle, or some kind of shipping container. Or like, we're always trying to relate it to bigger ideas. So the next step is defining. So using a design thinking approach where we ask them questions and get them to answer the questions so that they really think about how the different parts of this come together. How does this float? How does this move? And how does the battery power the motor? Questions like that. So the next step is ideating, so brainstorming. And we ask them what different types of ways could we use to power this boat? This boat could have a propeller. This boat could have a water wheel. There's a lot of different ways that you could do it. And it's important to go through these different methods so that the kids know that there are other options. And we're not just giving them the design. So next is the prototyping phase. So we explore the different options of the build, and basically kids use their hands and they build small designs and test them to see if their ideas work. So, and then of course the testing phase. And that's where the kids learn how their ideas work and if they work. So testing, optimization. So in this stage, the kids are going to use their prototypes and they're going to tweak them just a little bit to see what works better and what doesn't work. And at the end, we have a presentation and assessment to make sure that the kids learn and to solidify their knowledge of the project. And, I'm going to talk about the different stages of the teaching process that we're going to go through. So the first thing that we're going to talk about to get kids to understand these different technologies, we're going to talk about understanding the context. So we're going to ask them, like, why is this important? We're going to talk about the different projects that we're going to work on. For example, a hovercraft, also known as an ACV, and we're going to use these types of examples to teach the kids. So it's going to be very much like project-based learning. So the second step is going to be defining and using a design thinking approach. So we're going to ask the kids a series of questions like, why do we need a hovercraft? What does a hovercraft accomplish for us that a boat could not do for us? So these are really are going to help the kids sort of think for themselves why we need this technology and sort of get the learning process going that way. And the second part is brainstorming. So we don't just tell them how we're going to make a hovercraft, we're going to get them to start from the very, very basics. This is an important part of the process because you can't just be given the ideas, you have to think of the idea from the very, very first steps. And so after the kids have thought of a bunch of different ideas, they can start to put them together into their project and start to actually build something with their hands. So here we show a hovercraft, but in the classes, one thing that we'll actually be making is this fan boat. And it's got a bunch of sort of recycled parts, simple electronics, 3D printed propeller, and at the end they're going to actually have something that they can take home with them. So a fun project like that. And then at the very end, to make sure that they learned and to sort of solidify the learning process, you always test your ideas and you test them to make sure that they work the way that you thought they would and to see the alternative ways that you could have made it. And there will be sort of a presentation and summarization of the different ideas that were discussed to really help the kids summarize their knowledge and understand why some things worked and some things didn't work.